In a small town surrounded by hills lived a man named Raghav. Raghav was not lazy, he was not careless, he was not untalented. In fact, everyone said the same thing about him. He has so much potential. Raghav had dreams. He wanted to start a small bookstore cafe, a place where people could drink warm coffee, read quietly, and escape the noise of the world. He had written the idea in a notebook. He had drawn the layout. He had even imagined the smell of fresh pages and roasted beans. But he was waiting for the right time, waiting for more money, waiting for more confidence, waiting for perfect conditions. And perfect conditions never came. One evening, his friend Arav visited him. "Why haven't you started the cafe yet?" Arav asked. Raghav sighed. "The economy isn't stable." Arav nodded. A month later, he asked again. "Now what's stopping you?" Raghav said, "I need more savings. What if it fails?" Another month passed. "The location isn't perfect. The timing isn't right. I'm not fully prepared." Excuses don't sound like fear. They sound responsible. But deep inside, Raghav was afraid. Afraid of losing. Afraid of being judged. Afraid of proving that maybe he wasn't as capable as people thought. So he chose the safer pain, regret. Across the street from Raghav's house lived an old gardener named Dev. Dev was in his late 70s. His back was slightly bent, but his eyes were peaceful. Every morning, Dev planted something new. One day, Raghav asked him, "Why do you keep planting trees? You won't even live long enough to enjoy their shade." Dev smiled gently. "I am not planting for myself," Raghav frowned. Dev continued, "If I waited for guaranteed rain, perfect soil, and no storms, I would never plant anything." He pressed a seed into the earth. Nothing grows in perfect conditions. It grows in real conditions. Those words followed Raghav home. 5 years passed. The notebook with the cafe design collected dust. Raghav got a stable job, a safe salary, a predictable life. He wasn't unhappy. But he wasn't alive either. One afternoon, he walked past an old building near the market. It had been empty for years. Now it had a sign. "The Corner Book Cafe, grand opening." He stopped. Through the glass, he saw shelves of books, small wooden tables, warm lights, and behind the counter, Arav. His friend had started it. Raghav stepped inside. "It's beautiful," he whispered. Arav smiled. "I was tired of waiting." Raghav felt something heavy settle in his chest. It wasn't jealousy. It was realization. The world does not pause for our hesitation. That night, a heavy storm hit the town. Rain poured violently. Wind shook the trees. In the morning, Raghav saw something strange. Dev, the old gardener, was outside again, planting. "But a storm just destroyed half your plants," Raghav said. Dev nodded calmly. "Yes, so I plant again." "No fear?" Dev looked at him carefully. "Fear doesn't stop storms. It only stops planting." Silence filled the space between them. Raghav went home and opened his old notebook. For the first time in years, he didn't feel afraid. He felt tired of waiting. The next week, Raghav rented a small corner space. Not perfect, small, imperfect, affordable, scary. He didn't have all the money, he didn't have guarantees, but he had one thing he never had before: action. The first day, no one came. The second day, 2 customers. The third day, 3 students stayed for hours. He made mistakes. He spilled coffee. He ordered the wrong books. But something inside him changed. He slept peacefully, because even if it failed, he had finally begun. Months later, the cafe slowly grew. It was never the biggest in town, never the most luxurious, but it was his. One evening, Dev visited. He looked around the cafe, smiled softly, and said, "You stopped waiting." Raghav nodded. "I realized something." "What?" Dev asked. Raghav replied, "There is no perfect moment. There is only the moment you decide to be brave." Dev chuckled. "Exactly. Most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because they wait. They wait for confidence before acting. They wait for clarity before trying. They wait for safety before risking. But confidence comes from action. Clarity comes from movement. Strength comes from trying. Perfect conditions are an illusion. Life grows in imperfect soil. And sometimes, the biggest risk is not failing. It's waiting so long that the dream forgets your name. If you are waiting for the perfect time, this is it, not when you feel ready. Not when fear disappears. But now. Because nothing grows in perfect conditions. It grows when you plant anyway.